Hey, hello, and welcome to this episode of Learn Everyday English, your roadway to English proficiency. I'm in the corner of the living room today because I'm got a little different type of video. I'm going to talk to you about my bass guitar, or sometimes we just say my bass. I'll show you what that is, my bass guitar, or sometimes we just say my bass. And a little issue, not an issue I was having with the bass, but a way to power it up, or to have power to play the bass. And you know, we play the bass through an amp, and this is an amp, which is short for amplifier. To amplify means like to make louder, so you always need an amp to play an electric bass. They do make basses that are acoustic basses, which you may not need to plug in. You don't need to plug in, or you can. So there's some called just regular acoustic basses, or there's some basses that are acoustic electric basses. That means they're acoustic, but then you can also plug them in and play them through an amplifier. But this bass that I have is just an electric bass, so I have to plug it into an amp. But before I get into all of that, you know, there's three things you can do for me. Hey, 1, like the video, 2, subscribe to the channel, and 3, tell your friends about it so that they can benefit from these videos too, or from these great videos too. Hey, just like you. All right, well, let's get started. I'm just going to talk to you first about the bass guitar. It's a hobby of mine. I have quite a few interests. I like to play the djembe drums, which I think I've mentioned before. I think I'm going to have a video about that, about the djembe and another type of drum called the dunoon. But that's for another episode. I also like to study Spanish, and I like to play instruments. I play the guitar and the ukulele. I have a accordion that I've tried to play. I've tried to play a lot of instruments in my day. I could say in my day or during my lifetime. But I found I've never really focused a lot on one instrument, except maybe the djembe and the guitar or ukulele for quite a while. But now I'm focusing on the bass, and I'm really enjoying it. I've been playing the bass, or learning to play the bass. I don't know, I started a couple years ago, played it for maybe a year, and I stopped. And that's probably 2 years ago, so I'm starting to try to relearn it again, and I've been playing maybe 3 or 4 months now. And I like to get together with my brother and jam, or with my brother and some other friends and jam. Have you heard that word, to jam? That means to play songs together. And I really enjoy it, so I might put a little video. I think I may have done that before, of my brother and I or some other people jamming or playing. And I actually was playing the ukulele, electric ukulele, as part of the djembe ensemble group that I play with. But I'm going to start playing the bass with that group, because the bass player that we had left the group. He stopped coming to the group, so I said, well, I have a bass. Let me, I think I can learn the songs, and I've been practicing those, and it hasn't been too hard. But what I just want to go over, first of all, the bass guitar with you. And of course, when I play standing up, I use a strap. We call this a strap. Strap, you know, on a guitar, any type of stringed instrument like a ukulele, bass guitar, electric guitar, you'll have a strap. And when I'm have this sitting on the floor, I put it on what we call a stand. And I try to balance all these things. So this is a stand. The bass sits in this, but this is neat because it's small, but we call this a folding stand. It's a folding stand or foldable stand. so you can fold it up and it becomes very compact, very compact. But then I can unfold it, set it on the floor. If it's on the floor, the base just sits in here. We say the base sits in the stand. The base sits in the stand or on the stand, and it keeps it from falling down. But this is a bass guitar, and I kind of hold it like this. And usually the body, this is called the body of the guitar, like your body, my body. It's typically made out of wood, some type of wood. And the thing about the bass guitar, the most common bass guitars have 4 strings like this guitar. I know there's 5-string basses, 6-string basses. I think even basses that have more strings than that. But I think the 4-string bass is by far the most common. And in order to get the bass to sound right or to sound well, we have to tune it. We say tune it. And I use a tuner or electric tuner or electronic tuner, and I put it on this part of the bass. So let me go over, this is called the neck of the bass, like my neck. So this is the neck. The very end is called the headstock, like your head. We call it headstock. And the strings of the bass go down here at the bridge here, or the tail piece, I'm sorry, I think it's called the tail piece. And this part up here is, if I remember right, called this is the nut. And this doesn't have a bridge, but it has what we call pickups, electronic pickups. And these, I think, convert the vibrational energy of the strings into sound. So this has 3 pickups. As you can see, 1, 2, 3. They're control knobs. We say that might control the tone and also the volume of the sound. And to make to put the tension, we say tension on the strings to make them tighter. There are tuners. We call these, there are 4 tuners, 1 for each string. So I turn the tuners one way to tighten the strings, and I can turn the tuner the other way to loosen the strings. So tighten and loosen the strings. So I can turn this tuner on by pressing this button, and it comes on. I place the tuner here on the headstock, and I say I pluck the string. I'm going to pluck this top string. So this is pluck. I pluck the string. You can't hear anything now because the amp is not on, but I can tune the strings just by plucking them. And this is tuned. This string is the E string. This next string below is A string, the D string, and G. So E, A, D, G, E, A, D, G from top to bottom, So the bass, I think, is fairly well in tune, or pretty much in tune. I played it a little bit earlier. And so what I do with my left hand, I press the strings with the fingers of my left hand. And there's another term for that, is I fret the strings. I fret the strings and move my fingers up and down this part of the neck, which is called the fretboard. Because it's called the fretboard because, as you can see, there's like metal pieces that form lines down the neck, and these are called the frets. So I push down on the string and it touches the fret, and that allows the string to make a sound or a tone. So this is the basic information or idea of what a bass or bass guitar is composed of and looks like. And there's also, I have to plug this in. I plug the guitar in, so I have a cord or a cable. I plug one end into the bass. There's usually a socket. See that? I think it's a 1/4 inch. So I plug it in here. The other end of the cord or cable I plug into the amplifier. And then I plug the amplifier with a power cord, a regular power cord, into the electrical outlet, or we say the electrical socket. So now I can turn the amp on, and now it's on. And this is called a Fender amp. It's called a Fender Rumble 40 because the 40 stands for the power, like the power capacity of the amp, which is 40 watts. 40 watts, which is not very huge, but it's not really small either. We say practice amps could be 5 or 10 watts. So I could use this to play like in a small venue. Have you heard that word? A small venue is like a small location, small place. But it wouldn't really work well like for a large open area, or maybe a place outside with a lot of people. But it serves its purpose. It serves its purpose. So when I pluck the top string, it makes a sound. So I can. And the bass is kind of like it's more of an accompanying type of instrument, and it can be like a rhythm type of instrument too. And a lot of times the bass is playing in the background, supplementing the music, played by the guitar players or the keyboard players and the singer and the drummer. So this is the bass guitar and the amp. So how many of you play the bass guitar, or have played the bass guitar? Hey, let me know in the comments below. So that's some of the terminology about the bass guitar. I won't really play it with a song, but there was another issue that came up as far as how to power the amplifier. How do you power the amplifier? Say if you're outside and there's no electrical outlet or electrical socket. And that kind of was a problem that I was having to think about or to deal with, because maybe a month ago I went with my brother to play at a kind of a little house party for some people, and we played outside, and there was no electrical outlet very close by, so we had to get an extension cord, an extension cord, and plug into an electrical outlet, but it was kind of a hassle. And then there was a lot of people needing to plug in. There was two guitar players, and a lady played the violin, and another lady had a microphone, and all that had to be plugged in, and we ran out of space. So a lot of the people that I play with, they have battery-powered amplifiers, battery-powered, either regular batteries you put in, or you can charge the batteries up. And then there's portable, and you can take those with you, and you don't need electricity, or you don't need an electrical outlet. So I looked online, my brother has one, and there are a lot of options to choose from if you play the guitar. But when I was looking for a portable, battery-powered bass amp, there wasn't that many choices, and I did find one, and a friend of mine gave me a recommendation. And I almost went ahead and bought that, but then I decided not to, because the power, I think, was only maximum 10 watts. And it was very small. It was maybe only half this size or a little bit smaller. It wasn't going to produce nearly the volume of the sound. And I said, well, I don't know if I really want that. It might be good for practice amp, but I can just use this. I wanted something I could use if I play outside somewhere in somebody's house or a small venue. A small location. So I decided not to do that, and I was a little perplexed. Have you heard that word, perplexed? Like kind of confused, not sure what to do. And I went on the internet and I did a search about how to power an electrical amp if you don't have a wall outlet. That's another way to term electrical outlet or wall socket, electrical socket, that's all the same, to plug into. And somebody said, well, there's something that's kind of new out on the market these days. And let me put this bass down on the stand. There's something new that's out on the market these days, and it's called a power station. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, and I wanted to talk about this too. And this is what a power station looks like. And they come in a lot of different sizes and power ratings. And but this is very small and compact. I think it's at roughly between $250, $300, and it has a special type of battery in it. Not a lithium ion, but it's a newer technology battery that lasts a lot longer for more, we say more cycles. Every time you charge a battery up and discharge it or use it, that's one cycle. So typically a lot of batteries only have cycles up to 500 times, and then they start losing their capacity. But these newer batteries have cycle times of 2,500 times or 3,000, so they last a lot longer, and real small package. But I was looking for something that I could take around and that could power this amp, because with our djembe drum group, we're supposed to be playing down in Galveston, which is an island about 1 hour south of Houston, and we do this every year on the seawall. You might see a video I did when I was down in Galveston a while back, and I'll maybe put the link in the description. So Galveston has a seawall where people can walk on. It's concrete, and we have a big, what we call a drum circle where a lot of people come, bring their drums, djembes, congas, and we just play a lot of rhythms, African rhythms, Afro-Cuban rhythms, and that type of thing. And some people dance, so it's a good time. So we're supposed to play at the end of this month down on Galveston, but there's no electricity available, and we may be playing some of our electrical or instrumentational pieces. And I was thinking, well, how am I going to power my bass if I don't have access to electricity to plug my amp into? So this was a perfect solution for that. And this is like I said, a power station. A lot of people use these too if they go camping, or if you have a boat and you need to plug like a light in. You can recharge your cell phone. You can recharge, say, chargeable flashlights, or you can charge up your computers or laptops, that type of thing. And they come in like whole different sizes. So this is, I think, 268 watt hours. They call it watt hours. So what does that mean? And I needed something that I could use for at least, say, 3-4 hours. So this amp is rated, I don't want to get too technical, but this is a 40 watt amp. So if I plug this into the wall and turn it up full volume, it's going to pull or draw 40 watts of power. So, but normally I don't use the amp turned up all the way at full volume. I only use it, like right now, it's only at 1/4 volume, and I may only use it at 1/2 volume. So it's only, if I only use this amp, say, at half volume, so 1/2 of 40 watts is only 20 watts. But say for this purpose, this amp is drawing 40 watts. I divide that into 268, or a little bit less, they say 0.85 times 268, and divide the 40 into that. That'll give me the hours, or how long this power station can power this amp before using up or depleting the battery. So it's going to last about, say, 5-6 hours, which is perfect for me, because this is really the main purpose I wanted this for. But I can take it with me when we go traveling or camping, and we, like I said, we can charge up our iPhones and that type of thing, charge a portable light, even maybe a small stove or something like that. And so this was the perfect solution for what I had. But these come, you can buy them in say 500 watt hours, 1,000 watt hours, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 watt hours, and they get very big, and you can power a whole bunch of things on there. So of course the more capacity or power they have, the more expensive it's going to be. But for my purpose, which was just trying to power this amp for say 2-3 hours, this was the perfect solution. So I wanted to let you know about that because I didn't really know anything about them, and they're available and they've become very popular. So I'll show you how this works. So I have the amp plugged into the wall outlet, so I'm going to unplug the amp. I'm going to unplug the amp from the wall. Now, as you can see, this is the plug from the amp. It's not plugged into anything, and so the amp is nothing's happening. I can pluck the strings on the bass. There's no sound because the amp has no power. But what I can do, I'm going to plug the cord of the amplifier into this power station because they have plugs right here, 2 plugs, and they have other things like USB ports here you can plug your phone into, and some other cigarette lighter we call the cigarette lighter adapter. But let me plug this in. Then I'm going to turn the unit on. See, this display comes on. The display comes on, and it's at 99% charge or capacity. The light came on, so now this plug is powered up. And this is good thing, another thing for this unit, it has a light. But that could come in handy at night. But now I'm going to turn the amp on. The amp is on, and it's showing that the amp is drawing 19 watts of power. And it's showing that at that rate, this power station will power the amp for about 11.7 hours. And just let me put this on top here. You might not believe me that the amp is powered. There's a light on top, but you can't see it. But we say the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. That means the proof is kind of what I'm going to show you, because how can I prove that the amp is powered up? I can prove it by playing the bass, and you see the plug of the amplifier is plugged into the power station. It's not plugged into the wall, but the amp is working. Voila! Hey, you know this tune? Michael Jackson tune? But yeah, that's what I wanted to show you about this power station. So if you guys like to go camping or traveling or boating, outdoors type of people, this is something that you might want to look into, or some people buy larger capacities of these, have at home. So what happens if the power goes out, if the lights go out? You can at least charge your cell phones, charge your rechargeable flashlights. You can even maybe use a small electric type of cooktop or something like that, as long as it doesn't draw more power than what your unit is rated for. So you can buy the type of unit that you need. So let me know, have you heard about these power stations before? Have you used one? Do you have one? Hey, let me know in the comments below. So I think that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, is this neat device that I just learned about, and wanted to pass that information on to you and teach you a little bit about terminology, about the bass guitar and that type of thing. So again, let me know if you play the bass. And like I said, I'll put a little video of me and my brother or some of the friends or our maybe djembe group jamming when playing the bass.
Babies running around, hanging with the crowd, with no business in the street, talking out loud.
So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you did, and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, tell your friends about it so that they can benefit from these videos too, just like you. Well, that'll do it on this episode of Learn Everyday English. So have a good day, week, wherever you are, and we'll see you later. All right, talk to you later. Goodbye.